Hiya, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Becky and this is actually my first video on my channel. I wasn't really sure what to do for my first video, so I thought I'd do a quick makeup video for you all and I hope that you enjoy it. I'm going straight in with my Kiehl's Ultra Face Cream. I usually use this in the mornings or before I do my makeup. I cannot recommend this cream enough. I have quite combination skin, like I get an oily T-zone but I do get dry patches, and I find that this moisturiser really moisturises the dry patches but doesn't leave my skin oily. So I'm just rubbing that in and making sure to apply it to my cheeks, my head and especially my neck. Next I'm going in with my Makeup Obsession brow pomade in the colour Dark Brown. I'll be using my Morphe E29 brush, which has one end which is a spoolie and one end with an angled brush. This brow pomade is amazing. It's literally the perfect dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade. It's like basically the same packaging and it is the exact same formula. I've used both and personally I'd just rather have this one because it's a fraction of the price. Next I'm going in with this flat Morphe brush. It doesn't actually have a number. And then I'm using this Barry M Up All Night Concealer, which has rubbed off. I'm just outlining my brow and making sure to correct any mistakes that I've made. Always wanted to do that transition. There's me drinking some more of my tea. So I decided to use this Huda Beauty New Nude palette. I absolutely love this palette. I think it's so beautiful and you can do so many natural looks in it. So I'm going to be using my Morphe E27 brush and I'm going to be going into the colour Lace. And I'm just applying that all over my eyelids. When I prime my eyelids I make sure not to set the concealer because I always feel like working with a wet base makes the colours much more pigmented. Next I'm going to be going in with my Morphe E17 brush into the colour Tease. I'm using this colour again in the crease but I'm using it to deepen the crease so I won't be blending it as high as I did the previous colour. I'm then going back with my Morphe E27 brush just to make sure that it's all blended. I do use a little bit of the previous shade Lace just to make sure that everything is seamless. Next I'll be going in with my Morphe M321 brush and I'm going to be dipping into the colour Love Bite. This colour I'm working on my outer crease and just to the mid of the lid. I'm also going to blend it up a little bit towards the end of my brow tail just to create that kind of linered look. Again I'm using my Morphe E27 just to make sure that the blend is seamless. For the cut crease I'm going to be using the Morphe M432 brush. And I'm going to be dipping it into the shade Concealed, which is actually a concealer that's in the palette. When I do my cut crease I always like to use concealer just so I can make the cut crease more defined. It only popped up for a second there, but I'm again using the Barry M Up All Night Concealer and I'm using the same brush just to make the crease more defined. Next I'm going in with my Morphe M213 brush and I'm dipping into the colour Daydream. This is the colour that I'm using for the cut crease and I'm just packing it onto the wet concealer again because it will make the shade much more pigmented and it will make it much more shiny. Sometimes I do prefer to use my finger to put on these multi-reflective shadows, as it does sometimes make it much brighter, but it is up to personal preference, and today I felt like using this brush to pack it on. Moving on to the base, I'm going to be using the Professional Primer by Benefit Cosmetics. My nan actually gave me this and I've been using it for a little bit now, and I think it's really good for covering up my pores. On my cheeks and my nose I do have quite big pores, and I feel like this fills it in perfectly and makes my base look really smooth. So with this primer I'm just rubbing it into my cheeks and my nose, and anything that's left over I'll rub onto the rest of my face. Next, I'm using this MUA Pro Base Green Coloured Concealer. This was also something that my nan gave me, and I've been using it for a little while and I'm still making my mind upon it. But I literally use this green concealer all over my redness. Next I'm going to be going in with this really cute Unicorn Beauty Blender and my Rimmel Long Lasting Finish Foundation in the colour 100 Ivory. I apply 2 pumps and I put 1 dot on each cheek, and then I just blend it all in. Next I'm going in with my same Barry M Up All Night Concealer, and I do 2 triangles under my eyes, and I also do a line to make my eyeshadow look more defined. Next I use the tip of my Unicorn Beauty Blender to blend under my eyes. I got this beauty blender for Christmas off my mum, and honestly it's amazing. I'm not really one who spends loads of money on beauty blenders because I think most of them are the same, but this one I think is really good. So next I'm going in with this Rimmel London, I think it's called Forever Matte, obviously it's rubbed off so I don't know, in the colour Transparent. I'm using this Lottie London massive brush to pat in that powder. Next I'm going in with this Hoola by Benefit bronzer. This is the mini one, and I've had this for quite a while now and it has lasted. I've only just hit pan. I'm using this to contour my cheekbones, my jawline, my nose and the top of my head. I only really use powder when I contour, as I think it makes the results much more natural. So I'm going back in with that same Morphe brush and I'm using this to do my nose contour. I always make sure to contour my nose because thanks to my dad I have a massive nose. So I've just learned how to contour on my nose and I'm still getting better. There's my boyfriend photobombing my video. So I'm using that same Lottie London brush I used for my powder and going back in with my bronzer. I use this all over the top of my head, but I also use it to blend out the shade on my cheeks. Next I'm going in with this sleek blush, and I don't know what colour it is because this blush is so old. It's actually horrible, but this is the first blush I ever had and I have never used it. I have decided to use it a bit more recently and I am liking the look that it gives. So next I'm going in with this Technic Loose powder, and I'm just putting that on the top of my beauty blender and I'm going to bake. I usually only leave the powder on for about 5 minutes. There's me messaging the girls while I'm baking. So using that Lottie London brush, I'm just brushing the powder away. Next I'm going in with this e.l.f. highlighter. I'm not really sure what the shade colour is because it's again quite old. But I'm just using that on a fan brush and putting that on my cheeks, and honestly this highlighter is so cheap but it's such a good result and I really recommend it. So I'm going back in with my Morphe E17 brush and I'm just dipping into the same colour Love Bite to put underneath my eyes and in my waterline. I think that this just really finishes off the eye look and I really like doing this. Next I'm going in with these Eyelaw Look Silk Radiant Lashes. I love the Eyelaw lashes, they're really nice. So I'm just going in with my eyelash curlers, and I usually use these for about 10 seconds on the root of my eyelashes and then in the middle of the eyelashes, and I think doing it in 2 different places really curls them much better. So for my lashes I use this Duo Black Glue. This is really good because when it dries, obviously it dries black and it doesn't leave the horrible white glue all over your eyes. This glue is really good and it is waterproof. I highly recommend it because it's much better than the lash glue that you get in just the regular lashes. You're selfish. I just quickly straighten my hair and put this little hairbrush in, and I'm going in with this Huda Beauty Liquid Matte Lipstick. So here's my finished look. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and I really hope that you'll subscribe, and I'm looking forward to what I'll do in this channel. Thank you for watching.